Hi everyone, welcome. Mrs. Mantalk, are we ready to begin?
Yes, I am.
All right, welcome again everyone. This is grade 6 orientation or reorientation for those who have started with us from June. Welcome to all the new parents. We hope everyone was able to get in easily through the website and you have a test trial of how you access the website to do the activities. So Mrs. Mantalk is going to start off and do an introduction. Oh, let me introduce myself first. Let me start my video. My name is Jillian. I am the program administrator for Mantalk's Guide. I do a lot of the behind the scenes work in terms of getting the emails out and the communication and the WhatsApp line. So welcome again. And if you have questions, feel free to type them in the Q&A or the chat or use the raise hand feature. We'll try and answer them throughout, but if we don't get, and we will be answering them throughout the presentation. If we don't answer something a question that you have, feel free to ask us at the end as well. But before you bombard, we will be addressing many of the topics today. So just write them down, and if you don't hear us address it, just let us know at the end, all right? So I'm gonna hand over to Mrs. Mantalk to introduce herself and the program.
Good afternoon, grade 6. Good afternoon, grade 6. Welcome to Mantalk's Guide and welcome to this presentation. I believe the parents I'm addressing are the grade 6 parents who are new, who will be coming on in September. I would just like to inform you that the grade 6 program has been started since June, and I've been working with the grade 6 for the past 2 months. Some of you have joined in August, the August leg, but the August leg was just doing the work that was on the site. So you haven't been to the presentations, the live classes. So that is what I hope you are looking forward to and eager to get. In the class, we teach the concepts in the core subjects: mathematics, language arts, social studies, and science. During the class, we also have question and answer and little work activities. But after the classes and after the lessons are finished, we usually put up worksheets or quizzes to reinforce or to evaluate what has been taught. And from time to time, we do like unit tests and like end of unit exams. So we had our first exam the end of July for the 2 months that we were working. Now the grade 6 program is curriculum based. So I know some of you are wondering if we are teaching the curriculum. Yes. The grade 6 program is curriculum based. When I started in grade 6, I kind of do some review concepts and topics, especially in the mathematics and language arts. And then I started a grade 6 unit 1 in social studies, which we have completed. Now, the persons who are new, I know you may be worrying if how you are going to be getting these lessons. So the lessons are up, so you can have like a preview into what was done. But remember that when your child goes into grade 6, whatever unit we have finished, that is what your child would be starting. And the unit that I'll be starting, your child will be doing that. So they would also be doing what they didn't do, but they will be having a head start by doing the new units that we are doing now when they reach to that point. The grade 6 last 2020 batch, they joined the online program after school was closed, with the hope that they would be getting to do their examine the science, social studies, mathematics, and social studies, but it wasn't to be, so they only got to do their ability, which was already done before school was closed. As it is now, we do not know what will happen for this grade 6 year, but we are continuing our best to support the grade 6 program by doing the curriculum and doing all the activities that they are expected to do in the exam. That is a mental ability, which is a very important subject, because if you realize in the last exam, it was the mental ability part of grade 6 that helped to place them in the exam, and that was the only grade 6 exam that was used, because they didn't get to do any of the other grade 6 exams. No performance tasks, no mathematics, no language arts, no science or social studies. So those of you who were in the August program, you will get a feel of what the ability exam is about. It's the same subject they call mental ability. They used to do it in common entrance, but excluding all those shape things that they used to have and put in more comprehension type questions and reasoning. So that will be there, the mathematics. And you know, they have a mathematics performance task in grade 6 and a language arts performance task, and they are curriculum based. So when we do the units in the mathematics, then the performance task is coming out of those concepts. Say, for example, measurement, things like those. It's based, and it will be based on those things. Like for the language arts, the performance tasks, sometimes the sources that they use, it can be from science or from social studies, but at the same time, it is something to do with some aspect of the curriculum. The difference between the performance task, though, and the other exam is that for the performance task, the students are given the source, the information. They must interpret it in a comprehension form type way and be able to write some kind of composition, some kind of writing essay about some aspect of it, but usually the information is there for them to use. So it's to get them to use information. So when we do like comprehension, is also a way of getting them to use the information that is there. So we'll be doing that also, the performance task practice. Tried one July with the grade 6 who are on. Haven't done any mathematics one as yet, because it's dependent on concepts coming out of the units that are in grade 6. So we have classes on Fridays and on Saturdays: mathematics, language arts, science, social studies, and I do aspects of ability also. Activity sheets are put up on the topics that we do. So when the student do the activity sheets, give us an idea of what they understand or what they don't understand. Usually I make myself available late on after class on a Friday or early Saturday for students who have problems based on what we are teaching. And if they don't, not everybody learn at the same rate. So sometimes we have to go back over the topics for some students. All right. Now for the parents who will be joining for the first time, and some of you may be wondering about Mrs. Mantak. I've been a teacher since leaving high school, so I'm in the system for a very long time, for the past 40 years. So I've had experience in classroom teaching, teacher training, assessment. I've, I've worked in primary. My first job was in high school. I had a stint at prep school. I've stint at teacher training. I've done some teacher training work with the University of West Indies. I used to supervise undergrad for their thesis and practice teaching. I have experience in testing and measurement. I've been a school-based assessor for my last school for 15 years. I was a marker and item writing for the item writer for the GSAT exam for its entirety. I've been an editor for many of the Macmillan series and the market, and I am an author for the last series of social studies book that was out. These books are now the ones that are being used in school, recommended by the Ministry of Education, and the ones that they send out on the government program. And I notice many schools are using them now. My PEP experience, I've been coaching students for PEP exam for the past 2 years of the exam's life. For the first year, 2019, it was face-to-face. So some persons were asking how I did. I did very well at that time. I know many of your parents will like to measure performance and who went to Campion or whatever scholarships they got. So that for the first year, 2019, when we didn't have COVID or we weren't online, I had 33 of them going to Campion. I got 8 of the scholarships, including the top boy. For 2020 now, when we only did one exam, which was the ability test. Well, many of the children, they got, for you to get your first choice, you had to get 100% in the ability, which was the only grade 6 exam that was done. So most of the students who got the first choice, they had to get 100% in that. For this one, which was, they had to use some of the grades 4 and 5 to measure it. I had 29 of them for Campion, and I got 7 of the scholarship, including the top boy again. So those are, I'm answering these questions because the previous groups, those were some of the things they wanted to know. So that is why I'm giving the information. So in case anybody would like to know that again, how we have been doing with PEP, that is why I'm giving you the information. So my task is to continue to give the best support I can give to get your children in the school of their choice, because as I've said before, it is a program that supports what you are doing in your school. Although some people wish for you to have it all the time so they don't go to any other school, but it is a support program. We try our best to cover as many topics and concepts that we can. That is why we started in June, so the students would have a head start and can give up their best. So now that you are coming on a bit late, we have the challenge now of thinking what we can do for you to bring you up to speed with the other student. But some of you who were on with us from August, you will have an idea of some of the things that you are supposed to do. And I suppose you will continue to get the exposure because you will continue to put up the reinforcement activities, the quizzes, and the tests. And my advice for you, those of you who know that if your grade 6 students are weak, because somebody asked me that question already, if they can be a part of the grade 5 program, because you know that the curriculum is spiral. So like for example, in the mathematics and the language arts, it's basically the same things configured differently because it's a spiral curriculum you build on. So there's both of them, they start with the numbers and the place value and the different number. So it's you're building on what you did over the years. So if that's an option, for some, for like mathematics and language arts, because like for the social studies, it's a building on, but in different concept. Trying to see if there's anything else that you would want to know about the grade 6 program. So I'm going to turn you back over to Jillian, and then you can send in the question and I will answer throughout the presentation. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Mantok, and welcome again to all our new parents, especially. I see a lot of students are asking, especially students that have been with us for a while, asking, what is orientation? Orientation is our way of reintroducing the program to those who have been with us before. So we're just gonna give you an opportunity rather to ask any questions you may have on the way forward. And it's to introduce the program to the new parents and new students that have signed up. So if you've been using the program for a while, it may not be as helpful to you, but we invited everybody so that they could have an opportunity to understand more about Mantok's Guide and the program. And it's really for parents particularly to ask any questions that they might have about the way forward. So just going to recap, some of you might have been to orientation already. We had one in June. So this is kind of a recap of that presentation, and additionally, we're explaining some of the new features of the website that we might have had explained in that session. So quickly, I'm just gonna go through another quick intro of Mantok's Guide. Mrs. Mantok did a very good job. I won't spend very long on it at all. Some tips on adapting to online learning and what we expect from you as parents and students to help you in understanding and preparing for PEP. And also a few housekeeping items at the end. So, intro to Mantok's Guide. I am Jillian. For those who don't know me, I am, again, the program director or program coordinator for Mantok's Guide. So I do a lot of the behind the scenes work. You met Mrs. Mantok already. She's an award-winning teacher, champion math coach. She's won Schools Challenge quiz with St. Richard's. So she's very experienced in helping students to prepare for PEP. And again, she got the top boy last year, the top boy the year before. So you're in good hands. She also publishes the social studies book that's being used across the country, recommended by Ministry of Education. So again, you're in good hands. This is the Mantok's Guide team. Some of us are here in studio and some of us are online. So I'm going to take some time to reintroduce them to those who may know them already and to introduce them to the new students. So starting with I'll start from the left, Akil. Akil is online. Unmute and say hi, Akil. Akil assists us with some of our marketing initiatives. Okay, Akil is away from his computer. So I'm next, I'm Jillian. You already know me. Next is Miss Mantok. Miss Mantok teaches us science. Miss Mantok, please come. It's muted, so just unmute and say hello to the students. So Mrs. Mantok and Miss Mantok.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Looking forward to teaching you guys.
Great. All right. And then we have Mr. Mantok, who is Clever Mantok. He is to the right of Mrs. Mantok in this picture.
Hello, everybody.
Clever is
you back, and for all the new parents, looking forward to helping you and your child throughout this time. I will have some improvements coming up on the website during the month of September.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mantok. So Mr. Mantok is he's really the backbone of the online program. He has designed the website and he's used his very talented programming team to deliver you what I think is a world-class website, but I'm biased. So you're able to attend the class through the website and do all the work online. So he's really the backbone and the IT head for Mantok's Guide. So sometimes if you have any technical issues, you'll either be talking to me through the Mantok's Guide WhatsApp number, or I'll put it on to him so he can help you resolve them. But we're very responsive. I'll get to that in a bit. But so if if you have any challenges, please WhatsApp us or email us, and we will be here to support you. Did I leave off anybody? We have Auntie Karen was here. I'm not sure where she went. She's she assists in the program as well, and we have some other teachers and program assistants that are behind the scenes. I'll give them your love. They are very integral in ensuring that we deliver the best online program for you. So the website mantalksguide.com. Some of you may know it already, but this is really for the new students. You just type it in your browser. Again, Google Chrome is what we are recommending for all of the devices that you're using. So you type it in Google Chrome and then you go to login. So mantalksguide.com and you go to login. I'm already logged in. Let me log out and show you what will come up. So when you hit the login button, it will ask you for your username and passcode. Everyone on this call should have a username and passcode. Once you signed up before this morning, you should have a username and passcode, and you would have had to use it to be able to access this link anyway. So if you don't have a username and passcode for some reason and you're able to access this link, please let me know what challenges you're having so that we can ensure that you get your username and passcode. All right, and when you put it in and you log in, you'll see the activities in the home view. The home view firstly will have the live class button at the top, and then it will tell you which activities are due. So based on the program that we have, we put out activities weekly. So you'll see which activities are due, which are in progress, which means that you've started the activity or the student has started the activity and not finished it. You'll see which are submitted for the performance task, since it's not graded right away. All the other activities are graded immediately, but the performance task isn't, so it will be in the submitted button, submitted group, and the teachers will go in and grade it and leave the comments. And then the completed ones will be down here, and you'll see the grade on it in the bottom right corner. That's the home view. There is also the schedule view where you can see the activities by month and week. So if you log in, you'll see all the activities that are scheduled for your child based on when you signed up. So if you sign up, you'll see the activity in a specific month, you'll see the activities for that month. So we encourage you to start from the beginning and go through all the activities, and you'll have more than enough time during the week. We have class only Fridays and Saturdays, so during the week we'll have activities up and you'll have the time to complete those activities and you get the grade immediately. So on them, I'm not seeing it now, but the grade is normally posted beside it as well, right? Yes, right here. So you'll see the grade. So it says 75%, that was the grade that you got on the activity, not the percentage completed, which some persons are asking. So this is just a sample template. The student is not doing that badly. This is the testing one. We also have the avatar, so students, many of you will be familiar with it already. You can log in and change your picture and put on your different embellishments on the picture that comes up here. You can change your eyes, hair, clothes, etc. And you'll also see here the points and badges. I saw a question earlier, how do we get badges? So we're doing some upgrades now to the website to be able to ensure that that's working correctly. So the badges will be assigned based on completing the activities and the grades that you get on the activities. And so we're upgrading the functionality to build out the badge feature some more, so look out for that. But they get points now based on the activities that they complete. So if you do have an avatar and you are performing well in our exams, we'll form a part of our 90s club. So this is just like a badge too. It's the 90s club, meaning that you scored over 90% on the exams that we had in July. So if the student is a top performer in the exams, they will form a part of the 90s club and they'll have their avatar here. The other students won't see their name, but they will definitely see their picture and the score that they got in the 90s club. So another feature of the website that we have put in. I see some questions in the Q&A, teacher, so you can look through and answer them if I'm not addressing them, or let me know which other questions are there. All right, so we have the home view, avatar, schedule, and 90s club. We're building out some more functionality. Mr. Mantalk mentioned it earlier. The parent portal is one of them. So the parent portal should be up in the next couple of weeks, where the parents can go in and be able to view their child's access and see what activities they have completed and what their grades are in the specific subjects. So we're working on that. So parents can, in real time, see what their child has done and see the activities that they have yet to complete and the activities that are outstanding. The done, completed, outstanding, in progress. So you'll be able to see all of those and what their grades are so far. All right, so back to the different types of lessons and activities, or the different types of activities. They include worksheets, and then we have tests or quizzes. Then we have lessons. So parents, if you see the word, parents and students, if you see the word lesson, like this one at the top right, a lesson will look like this, kind of like a PowerPoint presentation, but we've done something, we converted it to a format called HTML5, which allows us to, allows you to view it in the website as you're seeing it right now. So when you go through the different lessons, it actually has questions embedded in there. So you'll see a grade for the lessons. So the lessons that are what Mrs. uses in class, she will go through it in detail in class, answer your questions on any topic of any part of the topic that we're covering, and then we will post the lesson online. And when we post it in this format, it has built-in questions. So there are questions built into each lesson. So what the children are asked to do is to participate in class, go online and do the lesson for themselves. So they're reinforcing what Miss already did in class and answer the questions. She may have answered them in class, but we want them to do it on their own and calculate all of the answers on their own. And it's for each subject, for all the subjects that we're doing, you'll see a lesson that we're asking them to go through the lesson and put in the answers for themselves. So this one, let's see, round to the nearest whole number. You just put in the answer, you type it in, and you press submit, and it will grade it for you. So here it's telling me that it's not completely correct. And if I don't know, if I want to look back at the answer, I can just hover over it here and it will tell me what the correct answer is. The good thing about the lessons is that you can take them multiple times. You can take, when you see lesson there, you can take it multiple times. We're doing some restructuring that might change for a little bit, but right now you can go in and the lessons that are up, you can go through and they can take it multiple times, because what happens afterwards, we post the lesson and then we will post a worksheet related to the lesson. And let me show you what the worksheet looks like now. So when they're finished with this, they'll get a grade. If you press complete, the button at the bottom when you're finished with the entire lesson and you press complete, it will give you a grade. I got 0 because I didn't finish it, but you'll get a grade on the total lesson when you go through the lesson in its entirety, and that grade remains on the front of the lesson on the bottom right corner in the completed section. You see it's right here. I got 0, but the grade is there. All right, so the lesson. So each lesson is accompanied by a worksheet, typically. So you look for the worksheet related to that lesson. If you go in the schedule view, it should be easier to identify. But the worksheets now, let's pick up on another one here. The worksheets are configured differently from the lessons. So the worksheets they're timed, they have a timer on it. And it also has a view that you can, when you answer the question, you can actually see which one was answered. See, I typed in the answer there, and in my answer key to the right of the screen, it shows a yellow circle indicating that I've answered that question. And if I didn't answer it, it would leave it blue. If it's a multiple choice, I'm looking for a multiple choice one. If it's multiple choice, it will show you the answer that you gave. But this one, yeah. So in some of the multiple choices, it will show you the answer that you gave instead of the yellow circle, and you can go back and click on any one of the questions and select which answer you want to change it to. Oh, there it is, it's working now. So you see the letter here that I selected A here, and this one I selected C. And if you want to go to any part of the worksheet at all, you can just use the answer key, click on it, and you can get back to that specific question. So it's easy for the students to see if they left a question out and they didn't get to do a question, right? How do you know the order in which the worksheets are and lessons are to be completed? That's a question online. You go to the schedule view. So the schedule view on the left will show you the order. That's the order that it should be completed in. All right. And then those are the types of activities. You have worksheets. Yeah, so everything that's on this view is the same exact thing on the schedule view. The activities are the same. It's just two different views. The only exception is that the schedule view allows you to see the recordings of the class. So the previous classes, if you want to see a recording of a previous class, you'd have to go to the schedule view to see it. So it's here, you'll see the class that was done that week on pluralization. You can watch the video back with Miss giving the instructions on that lesson. Then you can actually take the lesson, then you take the worksheet, and then we'll have quizzes and quizzes and tests at the end. There's a question here. There was a question about whether or not no, it disappeared off the screen, but there's some questions on whether or not we can do it multiple times. You can do the lessons multiple times, but the worksheets right now, you can only do them once.
Sorry.
Yeah, she can just unmute and answer. All right, so Mrs. Mansock is going to answer 2 questions. Let me just unmute. All right.
Now I have 2 questions here to answer.
All right.
So the first one is about the online testing. How do we certify that it is a fair test? Now the online testing is done live. So when we're doing the online test, what we did in the last exam, everybody is sitting at this exam at the same time. We put it up so you would know that you have the exam. It starts 4 o'clock. So the test is posted at 4 o'clock. And the time that you have, so you have an hour to finish the test. If you're finishing before that, that's fine, but you have no time over. So when you're doing the online test, based on how we set the test, it will be difficult for you to go and find your notes to do even if you're doing an open book test, it's difficult for you to complete the test in that time to ask questions or to get support from any material. So you have to prepare for it. So we did all the tests like that. So you get a specific time. You have an hour to do the exam. That was the time we gave for each exam. When the time comes, the exam is posted at that time and you start. So those who are finished before, they can, because once you finish, you have to submit. And once you submit, as you are finished with it, it is marked and we have your score at the same time as you are finished. So it's not like you can go back, finish the test and go back and come back and do the test. So once you start it and you finish it and you submit it, we have the score that you get. So it's nothing that you can go back and change. And based on the time schedule, it's hard for you to search to a book or ask somebody to finish, or else you may run out of time. So that is how it is done. So it's not something you go and do anytime. You do it when we tell you it is to be done and in a particular time, and everybody is sitting it at the same time. Somebody was asking about if a child has a mental block in mathematics. Well, we try our best to present the mathematics lesson in a very creative and effective way, so the children are engaged, and so that in a simple way that will interest them. We have, use a lot of visual, a lot of explanation, and how the classes are set up. Apart from the, just presenting, You can go to the whiteboard and go over and over, so you can ask the question as many times as you want until you understand. Plus, I provide extra time out of the class time, like late after the class on Friday or early Saturday. You get an extra hour to come in and get to send in what you don't understand. I prepare a special lesson and special activities to go through with those students who have other problems that may not be dealt with in the whole lesson itself. So once it is finished and you have a problem, you just send in your request and I make time to do other presentation for you. Now somebody is asking, what is performance task and what is ability? Now let me deal with performance task. Now performance task is an exam where the students are given material which is known as resources or source material. So for example, say we take language arts and you may be given, say suppose you are given some information about one of the national heroes, say Sam Sharp. And so you may get something written in an essay form about him, and you may get this the same material is presented in another way, maybe in a table form. Then afterwards, you are given a type of comprehension format questioning. So once you have gone through the material, they give a question and ask which source support the following statement. And you will have to know if it was in source 1 or if it was in source 2 or is in both of them. You know, so it's source 1 supports source 2 or both. Or sometimes they give one thing and they ask you whether it was paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, which one support, things like that. So you get like a comprehension part, but the comprehension is not really to write, it's to find the source that support the information. And you may have things related to like vocabulary and interpretation. Then when you are finished now, you have the other part is the writing part. So you have to write like an essay on something, but it is the information that you are going to use to answer it is in the source. So you use the information from the source to answer it. So it is all about interpreting information and using it. That is what is performance task is all about. And for grade 6, they do one in mathematics and they do one in language arts. So the mathematics component would be, they would take it like from a unit in the mathematics, like say measurement. So you maybe, they give you a scenario. So like, and it may bring in a lot of things. So like, for example, you need to enclose something, or you need to tile somewhere and they give you the measurement. They may, you may have to find out how much it is going to cost based on how many tiles you may need. But they all have to do with things that you have completed in the mathematics unit. So they would combine maybe 3 or 4 concepts to answer the questions. I don't know how they're going to do that online now. Now the next one somebody asks is, what is ability? Now, when they had common entrance, they used to call it mental ability. And many of your parents, you are a product of the common entrance era. So it's something like that. So you have to do like analogies, you have to compare and you have to contrast. So they may give you a list of, say, items and they ask you which one is different. So maybe 4 of them would be fruits and 1 would be the name of a vegetable. So you choose the vegetable. You get some mental maths in there. This one now, they may give you a little passage and they are going to interpret something. So it's a combination of a little maths, a little language, and a little general knowledge. So it's all about reasoning. So that's why they call it, they used to call it mental ability, because it's what you come with, how you can interpret things. So you may get some maths, you get some English in there, You get some general knowledge, things you're supposed to know. And so it is about seeing the information, comparing, contrasting, classifying, and inferencing. All of those things will be coming out in the ability test. All right. So those are the questions that I have to answer. So Julian, you can go ahead until any other question comes up.
All right, thank you, Mrs. Mantok. So I'll be continuing. We have 15 more minutes to go through some tips that you guys will know about if you're on here before, but if not, what you will need to succeed in online learning. So I already went through how to log into the website. So now let's talk about what tools you will need in the online experience. So of course, you're going to need an internet connection. We know that some of the service providers are not very reliable, but if you do miss a class, we record all the classes, and again, you can access it through the website a few days after class. You will need a tablet, computer, or laptop. Taking the class on the phone is not gonna be possible. So you'll need one of those 3 devices, a computer desktop, a tablet, or a laptop, so that you can be able to see the information on the website and have the vision of the full screen on your device. It's not going to work very well on a phone. So you'll need one of those 3 devices. You need to have Google Chrome installed on that device. So Google Chrome is a browser. If you're old school, you would have used Internet Explorer. So that is not the recommended device. Google Chrome is the recommended browser, so download Google Chrome onto your device so that you can have proper access to the website. And of course, students are encouraged to have a notebook for each subject. We teach 4 subjects in class, so you're supposed to have a notebook, or you can have one of those 5 subject notebooks that you divide into different sections. They can take notes in the class, but the class is primarily used to give instruction and to teach the lesson. So if they're trying, if they miss something and they're trying to write it down while it's being taught, they can go back, because remember, all of the lessons are posted to the website after class. So as a part of their reinforcement, when they're taking the lesson again, they can take down the notes that they missed at that time and do the activities when they're taking the lesson over again, because remember, the lessons are all posted on the site and they're graded on the completion of the lesson as well. So everything we teach, you have access to afterwards. These are optional. Those are the mandatory, but these are the optional now. If you have a device like a tablet, if you're using a tablet, we highly recommend a Bluetooth keyboard and a mouse. Why? Because we are in class, we ask them to type the answers. So we ask them, we'll engage them throughout the entire class and ask them for the answers to questions that we're working on, whether or not it be science, language, math, and we want them to type the answers to us. It will help to improve their typing skills, and using a keyboard is better at being able to do that than typing on touching the screen for the tablets, especially in the math. So having a keyboard is a little bit more intuitive in the delivery of the lessons and for them to complete the work online. So there are Bluetooth keyboards that go with the tablet. So in this picture, this is actually a keyboard with a phone and a mouse. And then this one is a tablet with it has a case, and the keyboard is built into the case and the mouse. So we recommend those highly if you're using the tablet. If you're using the desktop or the laptop, that should be fine. But if you're using the laptop, get a mouse as well. So it's easier for them to maneuver rather than the touch screen, the keypad, the touchpad on the laptop. Use a mouse instead. It's much easier for them. We're trying to make the process as easy as possible. So highly recommended. We went through logging into the site already. On the website, mantalksguide.com, there is a login button at the top. And you enter your password and you click the live class. That's how you access the class. Using Zoom webinar, we're already using it, but for those who had not used it before, you should use the chat to communicate with your teacher. So when Miss is asking a question in class, you use the chat to answer the question, not the Q&A. The Q&A is for specific questions related to the topic. So chat is used to communicate with the teachers. There are usually 4 or so teachers online at any time, so they will answer your questions in the chat and the Q&A. But if you have specific questions related to what is being taught, you should use a Q&A, and you can also raise your hand. I see your hand raised now. Omar, if you have a question, Mia Jelani, David, if you have a question. I see some questions. We're going to go to questions in a bit. And again, the Q&A is for pointed questions related to what's being taught. Sometimes we will unmute you, very rarely, but if we do unmute you, keep your mic muted unless the teacher unmutes it. Your video is off, and I saw a question, why is your video off? We're trying to focus on ensuring that we deliver the content and there's no distractions. So we've structured it this way. It might not work for everybody, but we've structured it this way. It's been working for most people so far, so that you can we can focus and there are not many distractions in delivering the lessons, and then our lessons are recorded. So we don't want to have too many distractions, so other students can go back and watch it and understand what is being taught. And you can, but the teachers are very accessible, very available in the chat. We have 4 of us online at any time to answer your questions in the chat and Q&A, so your question will not go unanswered. I promise you that, right? So you can only communicate with the teachers. The students are not allowed to communicate with each other. So it helps them to focus and to keep them on track and on targeted. So this is not a class where they can socialize a lot. They can socialize with their teachers. We will be happy to socialize with you once you're paying attention and online learning, right? So raise your hand, be polite, ask questions for the students, ask as many questions as you would like. Don't unmute your mic unless the teacher does it for you. Do not write on the screen and do not share your screen. Okay, so that we're using Zoom now. We might change to another platform in the future, but right now Zoom allows all of those things. So we ask that you don't do that. All right, there's a question about if you can use Safari. The experience will not be the same. Google Chrome is free, it's easy to download. If we just recommend that you use it, because if there are technical issues, we are able to troubleshoot them better if you are using Google Chrome versus Safari. So the success in online learning is a trifecta of cooperation between teachers, parents, and students. So as teachers, we are prepared to ensure that we do the research and we have a structured presentation and structured program online for you to follow. For the students, we recommend that you have a quiet environment. So when class is being held, no TV on, no games in the background, just focus on what is being taught, and so you can probe and ask questions. Join class on time, raise your hand if you have a question, ask as many questions as you want, and have your notebook, a bottle of water. Mrs. Mantok will give you breaks. You get a break every hour, so that you can go and run, stretch, drink your water, eat some food. And if possible, so that you don't get distracted, the students can use headphones so that they can hear properly. I know some persons are saying they're not hearing so well. If you can get a pair of headphones to assist in hearing, that is recommended too. Parents, understand your child's style of learning and what you can do to support them. We have a rewards feature on the website. You can use that to help incentivize them. I know earlier there are some parents that said that the child would say, can I go and watch TV, or can I have my tablet? And they said, let's show me how much work you've done on Mantok's guide first, and then you can have it. So we want to reward them and incentivize them when they're doing their work and when they've completed the programs and the activities online, which you can easily see by either logging into their portal, and when our parent portal is up in a few weeks, you can log in and see for yourself as well. All right, so reward them when they are doing well online or doing the activities, so that they are encouraged to continue, right? We went through some of the class rules already. And now, I don't know if we want to take some more questions before housekeeping, but there are 7 minutes left, so let me just go through the housekeeping, and then we can take the rest of the questions. All right, so emails, parents and students, parents especially.
Oh, sorry,
check.
Okay,
So yeah, we'll go to Mrs. Mantok in 1 minute. Check your emails frequently, because at least once a week, because we send emails out about new activities posted to the website, or if there's any information that you need to know about the class, like the performance task due or the due date for certain activities, we send it via email and by WhatsApp. So check your emails frequently. And if you are, well, I'll get to the WhatsApp in a second, but our payment options are JN Bank and NCB. We prefer those two, and we prefer you send it online in light of COVID and everything. We do have an office, but we prefer you send the payment online. So include the child's name in the description. If you're doing an online transfer, please just put the child's name to make it easy for us to identify, and also email us or WhatsApp us with a copy of the transaction when you have completed it, right? I see a question if you can use Silk browser, that's from Amazon. No, you can download Google Chrome. Amazon allows you to download it. It will be the best browser for the use of the website. If you use it, it may work, but when you're having difficulties with it, it might, it's easier for us to troubleshoot them with Google Chrome, right? So back to what I was saying, the WhatsApp or email the transaction, including the amount that you sent, the bank that you sent it to, and the student's name and a transaction number. So please let us know when the transfer is done by email or WhatsApp. Just bear with us until we get our online payments, which we will be getting very, very soon. You can pay directly through the website, all right? You can, if not online, you can go into any JN or NCB and pay directly to our account, and both of those banks allow you to pay at the ATM, so you don't have to actually talk to anybody. You can just go to the ATM machine and make the payment to our account and send us a copy of the receipt. WhatsApp alerts, we're very responsive by WhatsApp. So if you want to get alerts, it's not a group, so you're not going to see all the other parents. It's alerts. So we can send you alerts when class is about to start, when activities are posted, or if there's any other information we think is very important for you to know. So WhatsApp alerts, you can sign up by just sending a message here with your child's name and grade and add us to your phone so that we can send you messages. All right, Mrs. Mantok, over to you with the answers to those questions, and then I'll wrap up here. Unmute, please.
Yes, somebody was asking if we use our book list. I am not telling you to go out and buy any books, because your school has already given you a book list. So that you can use the books that you have as resources, because we actually put the lessons and the information about the lesson there in what we are teaching, plus the activities, we put them up. That what you would have in your workbooks, we would put up those activities online. So in other words, we provide all the sources, but the books that you have, you can use them as source book to answer questions and like for notes and to read up further information. Now, however, like, because the ability is a new exam, there's you have a lot of ability test books out there, but a good source book that you can really use to find information, general knowledge that the children would need, that would empower them and help them, is the student companion book. The student companion book, it has a lot of general knowledge information that the children can use. It can empower them. They can know a lot of general things that can help them with mental ability. But you have a lot of mental ability textbooks on the market. But the student companion book is a good source book to, with a lot of information about a wide variety of general knowledge that will be of value to the student. And the social studies, naturally I'm going to recommend that you use my social studies book. But if your school has provided you with another source and the book is fine. The social studies book that I have on the market is the Jamaica Primary Social Studies and the National Standard Curriculum. And I'm sure most of you, that is the book you already have from your school and your book list, because that is a recommended book by the Ministry of Education. So you don't have to go out and buy any extra textbook for me, because I am already providing you with the lessons that you will be getting from the book online in the teaching, and the backup activities will be placed online for you to use. All right, so that is as it relates to book list.
All right, we're almost done, so just wrapping up, I guess, unless there are any more questions. If there's any question that we haven't addressed, please, so somebody's asking for the name and author of the student's companion and to say the name of...
I'll post it online.
Okay, we'll send an email with that info and the name of Mrs. Mantock's book again. If you have any questions, again, our number is 280-0002. You need to be added to the WhatsApp alerts. If you have any technical issues when using the website, if something is marked incorrectly, anything like that at all, you can send it to us. We will assist you and troubleshoot and make sure that everybody is on board. Sometimes with the browsers on the tablet, again, somebody's asking about the browser, it's in mobile view, and it causes some viewing issues for the content that we have. If you have that problem, we can assist you in getting it to desktop view so that you can see it how it is intended to look on your device. So things like that, we're happy to help. We're happy to jump on a Zoom call with you and troubleshoot problems with you. So just let us know by WhatsApp or by email. Our email is info@mantalksguide.com, and our WhatsApp is 280-0002, again, for your information. We have classes for grade 4, grade 5, and grade 6. So if you have any friends or family in any of those other grades, we're still accepting registrations right now. So you can let them know. All right. There's a question here, Mrs. Mantock, will letter writing or essay writing be taught?
Yes.
Yes. All right, great. All right, if there are no other questions, somebody's saying, can we have another math marathon like the one that covered some of the summer content?
Yes, I can have another math marathon.
All right. All right. I think that's it. We don't want anybody to go over time. We're at 101 now, and we really thank you for choosing Mantalks Guide, and we look forward to seeing you and assisting you in the preparation, right? So thanks, everyone, and Mrs. Mantock, I'll give you the last word.
Yes, again, parents, thanks for choosing Mantalks Guide, and as usual, I pledge and promise to do my best to help your child get his or her desired school. So parents, let Mrs. Mantock do the worrying, all right? You just make sure that the children are at class. Thanks again, and I hope we'll have a very successful year working together. Thank you very much for choosing us.
Thanks, all right.